What if I told you I basically hired a free tutor who never sleeps, never complains, and actually helps me write Unity scripts? Yep, that's AI. Today I'm going to show you how I'm using it to learn C# in Unity and how you can too. I get asked all the time how I use AI to learn Unity C#, so today I'm going to break it down for you guys. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can use AI to help learn new concepts, how it helps reinforce what you've learned, and how to prevent losing your skills while using AI. Let's jump into it. To help kind of explain to you guys how I use AI to maybe learn how to do new things, new concepts, I built this little environment here, and our goal for this video is we're going to use AI to help teach us how to kick this red ball into this goal. And whenever we do that, we're going to make it have some text up here in the environment that maybe says goal or something like that. And then we also want a little button that allows us to restart the game so that our player, the little blue guy here, can kick it back into the goal and it says goal, and we can basically just keep doing that. So I got this little environment here. This is a full shot of it. We just have a materials folder with all the materials. We have a scene with the sample scene, the scripts, the settings, that's all basic tutorial info. Probably don't need that, but we'll keep it. And then for the hierarchy, for the environment, we just have the ground, which is just a typical plane. And then for the fence, just some cubes. That's what this little brown box is. And then we have a cylinder, a sphere, and the goal that's made up of a bunch of cubes. Okay, so that's a quick overview of what we're going to be trying to do here. Let's go ahead and start learning how we can do this with the help of AI. So our first goal is, one, we're just going to attach the camera to the player here, which is a cylinder. So I'm going to first rename this to player. There we go. And this main camera, I'm just going to attach this to the player. There, just like that. And then the main camera, to make it easy on myself, I'm going to reset the transform. So it's basically right on it. But I don't want this to be a first player. I kind of want this to be a third player. And we're not going to use cinnamon machine. I don't even know if I'm still saying that right. I'm still probably saying cinnamon machine. But anyways, let's just move this camera back a little bit and a little bit above, maybe a little bit more, back some more, up some more. And I like to rotate it down just a little bit. And that's probably good. That way later when we move our player, we can actually see a little top-down view. Next, let's go to the scripts folder here, right-click, create an Amano behavior script. And we're going to call this player movement. There we go. And we're going to double tap to open the script up. I'm going to go ahead and delete the start and update method. We won't need those. And then I've already pre-made the prompt that we are going to use for this movement script. And it's basically, help me create a simple movement script with my character. Make sure to explain in depth so I know exactly what each part does so that a beginner can understand. Then give me 3 follow-up questions to make sure I understand. I'm going to enter that in there, and then it's going to spit out all this information. So let's see what we got here. It's first going to give us an explanation. The script uses Unity's input system to read input keys. Disclaimer, you don't want to be listening to everything that AI does, but just use it to help you get introduced to new topics in Unity. So for example, it'll help you learn how to make variables. This should be private. We probably don't want to make it public. So that's just an example of don't trust everything AI gives you, but it could be a good starting point. Gives you some other information like movement.normalize, ensures consistent speed in all directions. And then these follow-up questions, I'm not going to answer those right now vocally, but I will just put the answers on screen for you guys. All right, and let's say we want to use this whole code block here. I'm going to copy this here and then just highlight everything and then hit Control V. And now everything is pasted in here. We don't have any errors, so that's good. And there you go. You got yourself a simple movement script. Let's go ahead and put this on our player. Back to the player now. What we're going to do here is we got our player movement script, and I'm just going to drag this to our player just like so. And now our player has the player movement script. Just because our variable is public, we can actually reassign it. Like I said, you probably want to serialize field. But one thing that's great about AI is it'll at least help you get started. And this is very important. When you're new, honestly, it doesn't even matter about doing things the right way because you just got to get your hands dirty and just start making something. Don't focus on being perfect because that is what I did in the beginning. And you're always trying to figure out what the perfect way is, but it's hard to figure out what's perfect if you don't even know a few ways to do something. You can't have that comprehension of comparing whether this is better than that. So honestly, start with something, and as you progress and get better at learning game development, you'll get a lot better and understand what is better, okay? Now let's see if our player actually moves. So I'm gonna hit play up here. We're in the game view, and look at that. Our player actually moves. Now you'll see we can't hit the ball, so that'll be our next challenge. And to do that, I'm gonna go back into the script. So let's go back to the right side, and I'm gonna paste in here, help me get my player to interact with my ball game object Make sure to explain in depth so I know exactly what each part means so that a beginner can understand, blah, 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 and give us follow-up questions. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do, it's saying, is to add colliders and a rigid body. Let's go over to our game view and make sure that stuff is actually there. Okay, so on our player, we're going to want a capsule collider. We don't have a rigid body, so just like this and open the rigid body, or I guess attach the rigid body. Next, let's go to the ball, and we're going to add component, rigid body, because we already have a sphere collider, so we don't need to add another collider. Check, we're good. Now that we know our objects have colliders and rigid bodies, now we need to detect collisions in the script. So this is saying in order to do this, we're going to want to add on collision enter. This is a method that basically allows an object to check if it's interacting with another object. So if you want to read the explanation, there you go. And it even gives us an example script for the player. So to do this, let's just go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to make another script. I'm going to go back into Unity, and we're going to go right click, create model behavior script. And this is called player interaction. So player interaction. Hopefully I spelled that right, and double click into that. Let's go back over to the scripts because that is exciting, and Control V. Great, now that we got this all pasted, let's see what we need to do. So attach this script to your player game object and make sure your ball game object has the tag ball set in the inspector. And this script checks for collision and interacts with the ball by applying a force. So if you had any issues with understanding the script, you could just use AI to be like, you know what, I don't understand this part. You can just right click. If you have GitHub Copilot, you can just do explain this. And I will go to these follow-up questions. You'll see the answers to those on the screen, but there you go. It tells you first line, if collision, tells you exactly what it means. Inside the if block, next line, rigid body. So great for just understanding what this stuff actually means. And you can dive into it as much as you want with AI. Okay, let's go ahead and do those 2 key points here now. So I'm gonna go back into Unity. And for the player, let's hit the player here. Go to our scripts folder and attach this player interaction script to it. So just find a spot, there you go. Has those 2 scripts now. And for the ball, we're gonna need to make that ball tag. So go to add tag, +sign, and enter ball. And that just creates a tag. You still need to assign it. So go to tag and ball. Shift space to get into game view, just like that. We're gonna enter play mode. And let's see what happens here. We're gonna try and interact with this. Oh, and our player looks like he's drunk. He's fallen over. So now we need to fix this. Just like before, we're gonna go over to scripts. So let's go to the right screen with all of fun's happening. And I'm gonna do, why does my player fall over when I hit the ball? Make sure to explain in depth and yada yada, everything else. So the AI is telling us the character likely falls over when hitting the ball because the character game object has a rigid body component. It later goes to show you that you can freeze its rotation in the rigid body settings, and it tells you how to do that. So let's go over how to do this. So if we select our player and let's just in rigid body, go to constraints, and you can freeze the rotation on the X and Z. Let's test it again. Voila, awesome. So now we're not flipping. Our ball looks kind of funny. Our camera's kind of rotating, but there we go. Our ball is slowly going. Awesome. So now that we got that kind of working, our next goal is to create a console message whenever the ball goes into the goal. So back to the right side of the screen we go, and we're gonna ask AI this little prompt. How do I create a debug.log message that tells me the ball has entered my goal? To create a debug.log message when the ball enters your goal, you can use the Unity's trigger system. Here's how it works. We're gonna add a collider to your goal, and we're gonna make sure that this collider has the is trigger box enabled. So our little goal here is this guy right here. And I'm just going to add a component, type in box collider, and we have this little box. Now that's not really going to be too helpful. So what we're gonna need to do is edit this collider. We could ask the AI, but I already know how to do it. Now let's hop back over into the script and figure out what we need to do next. Tag your ball, assign the tag ball to your ball game object in the inspector, which we've already done. And we can create a script for the goal. So attach a script to your goal game object, and the script use the on trigger enter. It's going to give you an explanation of these methods. Feel free to read through them. And then in the script, it's going to be called goal trigger. So we'll need to make that in Unity. So I'm just going to copy this for now. Go back into Unity, go to our scripts folder, right click, create, and model behavior script. Like I said, it's goal trigger, and delete the start and the update. Oh, I guess I didn't paste it in correctly. There we go. Okay, goal trigger, got that. Let's go to the middle screen. And I guess I almost forgot for the goal. Let's make sure that we attach this goal trigger, which is basically a component. And there you go. You got that goal trigger. And let's see if this works. I guess we should probably also enable this is trigger as well. Okay, there we go. Let's hit play here. I'm gonna try and tap this closer to the goal. But hey, there you go. Ball entered the goal. So perfect. Everything's working. Now our next goal is to create something that allows us to show a goal UI message when the ball enters the goal. So I got a prompt and let's go see what AI gives us. There it is. Help me create a UI message that says goal when the ball enters the goal. I only want the message to be visible when the ball enters the goal. All right, we got a lot of good information here. Basically, what we need to do is create the UI text, reference the UI text in the script, and show the message when the ball enters. Okay, so my Unity editor decided to crash. I had to rebuild everything, but got it back to where it was. And I also fixed the ball. Now it doesn't bounce up, it actually bounces forward. So if we go into game view or play mode and hit it forward, it actually goes forward. So nice. Now let's go ahead and actually make that UI. So I'm gonna go UI, Text Mesh Pro, actual text. We'll do goal. Maybe set the font size to, I don't know, 300. And you'll see it's wrapping, so we'll need to change that. Go bold, text wrapping matte, no wrap. Well, it seems like a good place to go. And I think the only thing left we needed to do was uncheck the enabled box, which is up here. Now that it's not showing, but when we make a goal, we want it to go goal. Now, if we go back to the script, we need to reference the UI text in your script. So in the goal trigger script, we need to add a public field. Probably just want to do serialized field in this case, but I guess we'll refactor it all at the end. Vocally. I don't know if we'll actually change the script. So I'm just going to copy this and we're going to go to our goal trigger and just paste in all the new stuff. This will do goal message.gameObject.setActive. So let's go back into Unity and get that all set up. So we just need to go to goal and there should be a public, goal message here. So we're just going to assign our text. And it looks like there was a little bit of an issue. So let's go to the right screen. AI is not going to be perfect all the time. This is not supposed to be text. I actually just want text. Pro GUI. There we go. And then it's using TM Pro. So that's good. Let's go into Unity again, let it compile, and hopefully that allows us to assign this text to our goal message. So we'll go to goal, text, and there we go. Now it's working. So hopefully whenever we get the ball inside the goal, it works. Let's go ahead and test it out. Now, the physics is kind of messed up on the ball, but I mean, that's what you kind of get for using AI. We're kind of just using it to learn. It's really not good. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. There you go. It says goal. Okay, and for our last little challenge here, I'm gonna create a restart button when the ball goes in the goal. Help me show a restart button that is only visible when the ball goes in the goal. Let's see if the AI is able to help us out with that. So it's going to tell us to add a UI button. It's going to tell us to reference the button in your script, show the button when the ball enters, and add a restart function. So we're in Unity now. Basically, we got to make the UI button, and in the inspector, set the button's game object to inactive. So I'm going to just right click this, go to UI, button, Text Mesh Pro, and I'm going to make this restart button. In the text, I actually want to enter restart game. There we go. Maybe we can make this bold, have it auto size. And for the button, let's actually make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to change the scale. I'm going to link every single one of these X, Y, Z's for the scale. That way it is proportional. And I think I noticed for the canvas, we're not doing scale with screen size and 1920 by 1080. I'm just going to put the restart button kind of above here on the top right, and we'll set this to inactive. Now our next part is to reference the button in your script. So in the goal trigger script, add a public field for the button component. So let's just go down here, copy all this, and we're going to paste it all into here. Oh, that wasn't even close to what we wanted to do. There we go. Okay, now it's assigned to the goal trigger. And if we go back to the script, we're going to show the button when the ball enters, which is this on trigger enter. And then for number 4, we're going to add a restart method here. So we just need to assign this method to the button's on click event in the inspector, which is this public void restart game. And it's doing the scene manager, load scene manager, yada, yada. So let's go assign this on click event in Unity. We're going to do restart button on click event. We're going to drag this little button because this is goal trigger. So let's just assign the goal because that is what the script is attached to, goal trigger, and restart game, just like that. And let's just double check, make sure there wasn't anything else. It will tell you how to connect the button if you didn't know how to do that. So there you have it. I think we're ready to test it out. I'm going to jump into Unity, make sure everything is working. So I'm gonna hit shift and space to go into the full play mode view, and let's play the game. So our goal is just to kick it into the goal. It kind of did a weird curve there, but all right, hit play. Hey, there we go. So we got this little goal text. Our ball is in the goal, so that's awesome. And then hopefully if we click this, it works. Restart game. And nice. We've just used AI to make ourselves a little basic game. It was super easy. And if you were just not familiar with Unity or C# at all, this would be a great little exercise to just even get you exposed to things. But all in all, I mean, I think this was a great activity to learn just how AI can help you learn using C# with your Unity games. Is it perfect? No, it is absolutely not, and probably won't be for a very, very long time. But hopefully you're at least able to see the capabilities of what it can do with someone just starting out in game development. I think using AI is a huge benefit as long as you're using it to actually learn how to make the game and you're not just copy and pasting. Copy and paste once you actually understand what the script is actually about, because then you're going to be able to catch what AI should not be recommending to you, and you can kind of refactor as you copy and paste that script into your game. Definitely use it as a tool to learn, but don't just trust everything it gives you because it's not always going to be perfect. And now I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys like using AI to learn Unity, C# or really anything, any skill? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, and if you didn't, dislike, sadly. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.